Hello Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to another Monster Jam OCD video. Today we're going to compare the Spin Master Monster Jam trucks to the Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks of Mix 1 2019 doubles and singles. Well, welcome back everyone. Today's a very special video that has been highly requested that I do. This is of course the first ever real separate comparison video to the Mattel products from the Spin Master ones. I have compared them during my reviews, but I wanted to go in depth and show you guys all the little details that have been changed, altered, or switched from the two companies, or differences between the two companies, of course, in this video. We will look at all of Mix 1, singles, doubles, and also I forgot to mention the intro, play sets. So Zombie, Son of Digger, and that's pretty much the only two that are different, because the mud sets I'm not going to look at today. But we do have these, of course, the singles and the doubles. As you can see, the double Gravedigger, the singles, and of course the Mattel edition. So we're going to go through each truck individually, look at them real quick, and compare all the differences. So this, of course, is the first one of the first case. This is Gravedigger. This is the Mattel one here. This is the last one we actually received from Mattel. This is the 2018 Recrushable Car Edition. And here is the first finalized edition of the singles Gravedigger. The triangle tip was not on the original product, on the first Mix's Gravedigger, so you can see that was a difference between Mattel. And you could tell the difference in the headlight detailing. So you got the nice headlight socket outline. It's very fine, but there is a silver circle around the headlight. There is a more detailed flame pattern on the hoods. They're both the same, so I'm just going to compare the singles one right here to the Mattel. So you can see a much wider hood compared to the Mattel truck, and you can see this logo is much grayer than the very prominent white Gravedigger logo on the roof. And you get the same Grim Reaper face, bad to the bone. This one's a little brighter red. So that's the difference. Obviously, there's always going to be a difference in color between decals, but you can see this is a much brighter red on the Mattel edition. And obviously, these are much wider in width, so these are going to be a little bigger as far as that goes, but the whole difference there between the bodies is very noticeable. So you can see there is a much more prominent also flame detail on the top of the headlights, so that's also noticeable. And the side panels, the one big thing that this Gravedigger has is actually the 4 rings. So you can see there's 4 rings here. There should only be 2. I think Spin Master actually did this to extend it to the end of this door. The Mattel edition was perfectly balanced, and they actually did have the 3 rings. You can see a very faint 3rd ring, which is on this edition, but the Spin Master one did add a 4th ring. Not the biggest deal in the world to me. I think it does fit really well. It could have actually looked even better without the 4th ring. It would have looked good regardless, but you know, that's just their choice, and I think it looks fine. It's not really that big of a deal to me. And of course you do have the Spin Master logo. It's very faint, but it's right there in this tombstone as compared to the Hot Wheels logo in there. And also, the Mattel editions always had Monster Jam logos on the trucks. This is actually not supposed to be there. So they did remove it on the Spin Master ones. Of course, there's also no Hot Wheels logo, obviously, on the Spin Master edition, but the Monster Jam logo emblem on the truck as a sticker with gray and white and black is never on real Gravediggers. Actually only inside this little tombstone right here, the second one in. So Mattel was actually making them inaccurate with these little Monster Jam logo emblems, but the Spin Master ones do not feature that. And the back, I think they did a better job with the Spin Master ones. I think it looks a little better this way, closed off, than just a kind of like a square. So I don't know what they did different. I think it's because this is actually a metal post and this is a plastic one, but they did do a little more with this Spin Master one here. And of course, I won't compare them all the time, but the first ones, of course, you can see the difference in the chassis, the roll cage, all this stuff is much more accurate to the real truck. You got the driver inside, the BKTs all around instead of a Hot Wheels BKT tire, and of course the green rims compared to chrome, and the charcoal chrome from the doubles pack compared to the regular chrome. So that is Gravedigger. Big differences, and also some minor ones, but there we go, that's the Gravediggers. And next up, the rival of Gravedigger, Max D. And this one's where the community got a little bit iffy about it. So I think personally that this Max D is pretty good. It is a great representation of the CRD rear engine Max D that Colton Eichelberger drives and other Max D drivers in arenas, but Mattel's was much more geared towards not only having bigger spikes, but also geared towards being a front engine representation, although it is a rear engine. It does sit just like Tom Mentz's Max D, of course, because he has a Willman chassis front engine. So you can see how straight the hood is, and this one's actually curved downwards. So this one's more of a rear engine. Of course, it is a rear engine, obviously in the actual diecast form, but if they were to make a front engine, I think that Spin Master should definitely make it based off of this style design. So straight across, straight back, no curve downwards, because that would be an inaccuracy if they were to do a front engine. I don't know if they are, and I hope they do, but that would be pretty cool to see a front engine, Willman chassis Max D. But as far as the differences between these two go, we have the orange rims, which I think were a great touch. You do have the front spike plates, which were not a feature of the Mattel edition. You do finally have these orange flames coming down the hood. So the middle, that was never added to the Mattel edition, despite that being on the real truck. The spikes are less prominent on the Spin Master one. You know, it might be for safety reasons. They might have been asked to cut them down. Mattel might have just been doing them too prominent, but I do have to say Mattel did have some better spikes. You can see the detail of the spikes is much more prominent on Mattel's edition. But as far as the rest of the truck goes, Spin Master did do a lot of stuff that Mattel never did, such as, or they did do it sometimes, but they oftentimes did not. They did add the Monster Jam logo in the rear middle, where the flame used to have the Monster Jam logo on the Mattel edition, which is not supposed to be there. So it should be here. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to put it here, but it might have been for budget reasons. And also, the Spin Master one does have 3D taillights, while the Mattel one did have printed in taillights on this one. And the Mattel one did have a lot more spikes than this one, because they weren't going for accuracy. These are actually accurate to how many spikes. That's amazing, by the way, how many spikes are on the real truck's plates, I believe. So pretty cool that Spin Master went the extra mile to add the precise amount of spikes. Now, the one thing that I wish both companies did not do was add the 3D spikes on the side plates, which in the original actual piece here, I actually have it holding up my camera, you can see there was no spike plates on the original gray rimmed edition before they revised it, which was accurate. But then I guess, I don't know why, but they did add the 3D spikes underneath the wing and the sides. So I think that it's unfortunate that they did that, but it might just be for, of course, detail purposes that it might look better. But printed spikes on the real truck are how the real truck has the fenders. So maybe in the future they'll take them back off and print them on, but I don't think they'll do that. Other than that, it's not that big of a deal. The real thing that people want to see is definitely a front engine Willman chassis with a straight and narrow body. So that is something maybe for the future. But as far as comparison goes, I think Spin Master did a pretty good job. Although there is a little bit of an inaccuracy point as far as the spikes go, I think they still got them, with the detail of the roll cage, the chassis, and the rim color. Very good job by Spin Master for the Max D. The El Toro Loco. So a lot of people said El Toro Loco looked a little wide, and it's because of the standard body size. They have to be this wide. They have to be standard as far as width goes. But as far as detail goes, between Spin Master and Mattel, you can see the detail is different. The horns obviously are much more tuned towards the real trucks. These are flat horns, super flat. These ones are actually rounded off, and they do have that nice difference in color, the gradient from yellow to orange, and also they have this nice, just this mouth. Everything's very detailed here, and you got the chin hair, of course. This was just a textured chin hair, never printed on, and the flames are accurate to the render, and you got, of course, this nice hair piece here. Instead of being plastic, it's actually metal. This was a separate plastic piece that was always discolored. And here's the side panel. So this one actually features 3D teeth. This one features just flat printed on teeth. And of course the flames are much more accurate. You got the Monster Jam logo, the El Toro Loco logo. Taillight printing, monsterjam.com on the back, and a much better looking tailgate for sure. And of course, you do have this negative space bar. That's just to stabilize the back end so it doesn't bend inwards. I kind of overlooked this detail because it's supposed to be overlooked. That's why it's painted black, so it's like a negative space. It's not supposed to be looked at as part of the truck. So as far as that goes, it looks pretty good. I do like how Mattel used to do theirs, though. I do prefer this little stub here instead of this whole bar. But again, I overlook it every time, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And also the orange rims were a great touch on this El Toro Loco Final Revised Edition. So that's the comparison between the El Toro Locos. Definitely Spin Master taking the win on the detail. And of course, this one, you guys know what I think about this one. The Megalodon, there's a clear winner here. The Spin Master one has the full shading. It has the white. It has the difference in color. The teeth are individualized. They're no longer plastic. They have the gum color. And you got the Hot Wheels one here where it's just pretty much a shark. It's not really a detailed Megalodon looking shark. It's just a shark body that they molded probably quickly for the release of this in 2017. And when this came out, I'll be honest, it was a big seller. It was a big deal. But now looking back at it, this is not the best casting that they could have done. The fin was very, see, it's very wide here. And just a lot of this truck, it just does not look like Megalodon after you see the Spin Master Edition with, of course, the light blue rims that the render had, and just a overall sharper fin look on every fin, and a very nice casting for Megalodon. So that's definitely a winner right there. This is by far the most noticeable difference. This is my favorite one of the differences of the singles. So you can see there, the difference is clear. This is accurate to the real truck. This entire casting is pretty much the exact truck's original render from the 360 turntable. That's why the hook is upside down, by the way. So this is pretty much just the 3D print of the original render that Feld created. And this is, I have no idea what they thought they were doing with this. When this first came out, it was great, but thinking that we could get something this accurate is absolutely crazy. So when Mattel did this, they put the inaccurate sword, put this giant white sword here, and they never painted them. They also put this giant unproportioned hat on the top. As you can see, there's a difference in hat size. And they, again, never painted the side. The Spin Master ones do have painted in swords, and the dagger is actually a dagger, not a, I forget what they call this kind of sword, but not a sword. The eye patch, everything, just the skull, the face, everything's so much better. And of course, the only thing that Mattel got right was the hook. The hook does face upward. The Spin Master one does face downward, which is part of the real original render, but the real truck does have the hook upwards. But besides that, I mean, the difference is very clear here. This is pretty much just a pickup truck retooled with a face and a hat, and this one's a much more Pirate's Curse style truck. This one does have the little post here. It does not have the negative space bar, which is pretty cool. So that's one of those. The bandana is a separate piece. Everything is just so much better than how the Mattel product turned out. And of course, the gold rims have been changed to red on the Spin Master product. So one of my favorites of this year so far, the Pirate's Curse with the new details. And next up, the Mutt, the Monster Mutt Dalmatian from Mix 1. Of course, they added so many things on here. It's insane. They did make the tongue more detailed. It is more of a point. It does have the 3D ears. People don't like them. People do like them. It's a kind of a 50-50 thing, but I think they look great. I'm sure maybe in the future we'll see a variation with them down. There's been so many people suggesting it that I'm sure the design team has considered it or looking into it. But the one thing they added, and we've asked for this for years, the tail. That is a thing 14 years in the making, or actually 15 years in the making. Never received it from Mattel once. So that kind of shows you the laziness that they'll go to avoid doing simple details like this. The Spin Master team got it in their first year, so I'm very happy that they did that. The Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Monster Mutt, and Rottweiler all have tails. And of course, you got the nice teeth. The detail of the teeth are much more prominent here, and the collar stones also. The only thing that Mattel got right, besides a pretty good casting, were the stones on the side of the collar. These are actually how the real truck looks. These are not. These are not the correct stones. So the diamonds were part of the original render, but not the real truck style like this. But other than that, they have the 3D teeth. These are just flat printed in teeth. And of course, this casting was used for Monster Mutt and Monster Mutt Rottweiler, and of course Bone Busters and the Monster Mutt Mummy. So I'm very happy that Spin Master went ahead and made individualized castings and ears and tails and tongues for every single Monster Mutt this year. So other than that, very good. Love the red rims as well. And Monster Mutt Dalmatian is ready to roll. And this one's a big one. This one's also a #1 truck that people wanted to see with, of course, the arms, the zombie. The difference is absolutely clear. I'm, again, not sure what Mattel was going for with Zombie. I'm not sure why they thought this face was a good idea, or why they did not decide to base it off of the real truck, but this is based off the original truck's render, so it's pretty much exactly how the real truck's mouth and eyes and face look. And of course it has these arms, finally, added onto a die-cast zombie, the arms. The green rims are part of the playset. These will have gray rims in the future in the singles, but I think the green rims actually make it look pretty cool. But the difference between the zombies, another very clear difference. This is pretty much just a zombie face tooled onto a pickup truck. They just rushed it out. And this one had a lot of thought and detail put into it. Of course, you even got an ear here. And I mean, this one did have an ear, but this one has a printed on ear. And the clothes are 3D. Everything's just so much more detailed. And of course, the MoshJam.com has been added back. And you got the entire 3D piece right here of the clothing. And again, these arms that move. So very good. Great face by Spin Master as well. I cannot say the same for Mattel, unfortunately. So definitely Spin Master taking the win on that zombie. And one of my favorite trucks in real life, the Son of Digger, has gotten its brand new tooling. Besides the big door windows, I think this entire casting is much better than Mattel. The Mattel edition, recent years did not have headlights, never had grille printing. On their first year of production, they added the headlight socket printing, headlights, and grille printing, as well as two little flames right at the bottom. You can't really see them, but they're there. And of course, the triangular casting on the nose. This is just a flat, straight down casting. Overall, this truck is much more detailed. And of course, you got the blue rims for the first time ever on a die-cast Son of Digger. And you have no longer that Hot Wheels logo on the side panel. So that's a quick little comparison between the Son of Diggers. I'm sure we'll see them again in my next comparison of Mix 2. And this one's another kind of controversial one. It is the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. First off, I have to give them credit for adding Great Clips onto this Mohawk Warrior. We had never received that from Mattel, so very good addition by Spin Master. The only thing about this Mohawk Warrior that I personally do not like is the backwards mohawk, which I'm sure the designers have heard many times before and will be looking into it probably in the future. But the only thing that Mattel got right would be the mohawk. The mohawk shape was pretty decent from Mattel, but not exactly how the real truck looks. Besides that, the Spin Master one definitely takes the win. Got the purple rims, you got the Great Clips, of course, on the back, sides, and hood. The grille printing, the Escalade style, of course, and just an overall great looking truck besides the Mohawk. I mean, I'm not going to really care about that much. Besides that, this is a great looking truck. So Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, finally getting the Great Clips, and of course, purple rims, but the Mohawk kind of takes away from it. And this was a quick one because there's not much to compare here. We each got the green Jester compared to the purple one. They did add Gestelade on the side panel, which Mattel never did. I'll give Spin Master credit for that. They did add grille printing as well and headlights. The Star Creations logo finally being added on there. And overall, just a little bit more updates that the Jester really needed. I know the green one does have the hat on the top here. That actually comes up to the top. The Mattel one did do that. The first run of the Spin Master Purple did not have that. But other than that, great looking truck. This is the Gas Monkey Garage comparison. So first off, I must mention this because people have asked me and mentioned their videos and are confused. This is the true Gas Monkey Garage color, the Super B Green copyrighted color. I believe it's a copyrighted color. So this one is accurate. This one is not. This is just a standard lime green paint job. So you can see the difference in color there. Also, they did add the stripe, which was on the original Mattel prototype, which they removed because the Hot Wheels logo had to go there. That ridiculous Hot Wheels logo had to be there instead of the stripe, which would make it accurate. And also they added Dallas, Texas underneath the Gas and Monkey. And of course, the headlights are not there, but the grille was printed in. At least we did not get this big blank grille. And of course, the entire body has been more tuned to be just like the real truck. And the taillight has been added in, although it's not really how the real truck looks. It does fill in this negative space. And of course, a license plate has also been added in as an additional detail. And of course, you got these nice matching rims to the body and some more etching in the casting. Just a great casting for this Gas Monkey Garage. Very good truck and very happy to finally have one compared to this old Mattel one, which we were excited for. And then after they took off the stripe and the headlights and all that stuff, that was kind of a no-go for us. And a couple trucks that did not have any comparisons, but I wanted to mention, we got the Brodozer and Storm Damage. Very good pickup truck, the square body by Spin Master. I'm sure we'll see more uses of this in the future. So Storm Damage, and of course the brand new Brodozer casting with the roll bars and everything on there. So quick little note about those two. And one more comparison between the pickup trucks. We got the Blue Thunder comparison. This was a baby blue, which I believe was accurate for some time, but after a while it did become inaccurate. And of course, Spin Master came out here with the dark blue body, got the dark blue rims on a variation. They had also gray rims and a mud set version, but got the painted in grille, painted in headlights, and of course the nice tailgate with taillight printing. And overall, I think this one definitely is a nice refresher for Blue Thunder because it's a great looking truck and I love the dark blue paint job. And this one, along with Bounty Hunter, which I'll show in just a moment, do not really have much comparisons because these are, in fair comparison, different bodies. This is the brand new 3D body that they did for Dragon on the international tour, now in, of course, the United States. And also this was the original body that Dragon ran. But overall, you can see the difference there between the two Dragons. Very good detail by both companies on these trucks. And like I said with Dragon, the Bounty Hunter, the difference, because they never made this Bounty Hunter, Spin Master did go ahead and make this, tried to make the Chris Kyle Bounty Hunter without the Chris Kyle stuff and Punisher logo. And here's one where I have to admit, Mattel did get the upper hand. Wonder Woman did fall short of detail. The only reason I say that is because Wonder Woman on the Hot Wheels edition did have a nice maroon paint job. This one has too light of a red paint job to be just like the real truck. Although I do like how Spin Master did this part. They did cover up the mechanics of the whip. So you can see a big mechanic piece here. They did cover that up with the roof and this little piece here. Although this is not on the real truck, they did cover up their little bits of engineering. And they also did a very nice whip, a very circular whip, while this one's a oval. The only thing, again, like I said, is the color of the paint is much better than the Spin Master one. Although the Spin Master one did do the details correctly, the Hot Wheels one definitely has to take that one. One of the only wins by Hot Wheels so far goes to Wonder Woman because the paint color and a little bit more details were fine-tuned. And the final comparison, this is not really a good comparison because they're not the same truck, but I do want to mention it because it's been mentioned so many times in the past. I have to admit, the Mattel Time Flies definitely has a better casting than Wildflower received from Spin Master. The only reason I say that is because the Spin Master one does not have the triangular shape that we were expecting. And also it cuts into the casting, which just does not look very pleasing to the eye, especially for adult collectors who do customized bodies. This negative space that cuts in here with this shock, it's very hard to overlook. And the way Mattel's designers did it with the actual metal shocks and cut off shocks on the actual roll cage would have worked so much better, because if they're going to reuse this tooling in this roll cage, if they were going to make a universal roll cage for Wildflower and Time Flies, which they did, this is a modified roll cage because this is for this truck and Time Flies, they should have just cut off the front shocks and put metal shocks on the body, because with that said, they could have done the accurate casting. Now, that's just my opinion, and I've heard that opinion spread multiple times, more than probably I say 20 times now, by the community, because this was such a great truck to look forward to. And then of course the shocks and the way they cut into the body and the shape of the nose, the entire casting kind of fell short. You know, it just fell short overall, and it's very disappointing. But I don't know, maybe in the future they'll consider what we've said as a community, maybe cut off the shocks on the roll cage, retool the bodies to have metal shocks just like Hot Wheels did, because I think this was a beautiful 100% accurate front part of the casting here. You got the triangular nose, you got the shape overall is just much better. This one, the roof is great, the side panel is great up to that point. This is all great here, but the nose, as it starts to come in here, it goes straight into a square. It should come in as a triangular shape with a round ovalish front for Wildflower, and of course Time Flies should do this triangle straight into a direct point. I'm very worried about the Time Flies that will come out from Spin Master because it might have this same shape here. So, you know, it is what it is, and I'm not going to hate on them for doing it because I get it. They have to go with what is said, and of course, if it's said that they have to do this style roll cage where it has to be the same exact shape and width and length, I get it. This is exactly how the other trucks have it, so it's a bad representation to use Bounty Hunter, but you can see they all have this same thin line that comes down to this point here. These shocks would have to be pushed out farther if they wanted to do the accurate tooling for Wildflower. So I get it. I understand, and I see the overall style that must be performed here, but I think they definitely should have just taken off the front shocks, just put them on the body itself. Same for Time Flies if they're going to do it that way, I'm not sure. And then we would have had an accurate casting. Also, this fifth shock was unnecessary because this truck actually only has 4 shocks, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So I'm not sure why they added this third shock right here. That's just might just be to make it look better. I don't know, but Wildflower unfortunately just might be the one that I think might be the worst of the year. so far. As far as everything else goes, I'm so happy that they've done everything else accurately. And I understand there's budgets, and I understand they're making over 50 new tool trucks this year. So I get it. And there's things to revise in the future, and they get that too. The designers are always up to hear our feedback in mind, and of course I'm passing it along to them every time I speak to them. So Wildflower, definitely one that really needs the work, and if they're going to retool stuff, this is definitely a top priority, I'd say, because I'd love to see it fixed up. Also have the accurate hood printing and grill printing, hopefully in the future. So that's just food for thought, and I really think that this one could be so much better had they just done it a little slower. That's my suggestion. Again, the metal shocks, this one definitely will win over. If it's this style for time flies, this one's definitely going to win the Mattel product. This is so nice, and this is probably one of the best toolings Mattel did in their 18-year contract. So definitely going to take the upper hand on the Raymer trucks for Mattel. I do like this, but it definitely, again, needs work. So that is it. That's the comparisons for Mix 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a lot of comparisons, a lot of great ones. There's only one that I really pointed out besides Wonder Woman, the Wildflower. Besides that, you guys already know that I love Spin Master's product. They are much more detailed, and you guys know that for yourselves. I'm just speaking as an advocate for this stuff. Of course, my partnership and my love for the hobby. I love collecting these things. I love looking at the details and everything and talking to the designers over all the details. So with that said, this has been a long video. Thank you guys for sticking around if you guys watched this part of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison video because I know you guys want to see it. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon. I will be doing a variations video soon with every single variation from Mix 1. That is coming in the future. I have not got all the variants yet. So thank you guys. Be patient on that video, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Ryan of Monster Jam OCD, signing out.